Shoot with the questions, Mike. Bring it on.
Question time.
Damn right.
All right. Ty dot underscore Mansfield asks, worst employee story.
Hmm. The worst employee story.
I really don't have like a really bad one, so I'll start things off here. I just remember like one of my first projects, I wanted to hire somebody, and trying to get somebody was difficult. And when I finally did find somebody, they didn't show up the first day and they didn't give me any reason why. And then the next day, their next excuse was, oh, I left my steel toes at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. And then I was like, why why would you go to Lowe's and leave your steel toes there? And then they were like, oh, I work there. And I was like, no, but I'm hiring you. Why are you working somewhere else? And then, like, it did not compute at all. It didn't make sense. And it just like, yeah, I just moved on and didn't message them again.
Did they ever come in?
No, never.
So your first employee never worked a day.
Never worked a day.
Ever
Yeah.
worked a single day.
I like that one. That's good. He wasn't near
Um,
his boots.
He wasn't
Wasn't
near his
that?
boots.
that's a valid excuse. He wasn't near his boots. Um, I don't know, man. A lot of weird shits happened.
I
Had a lot
had
of.
this.
You go ahead, Chad. I don't
I
even.
had we had this guy. He was a job zone guy, and I think I've talked about job zone before. It's like a company that will subsidize workers, like they sort of give them some basic training and then subsidize them and send them out into the workforce with new boots, new pants, new shirts,
That's how you want to show up
a
on the first day.
good attitude, right? So we get this guy, like first off, the lady for the recruitment agency says, "You're okay with tattoos, right?" Yeah, look at me. I look like I just came from jail. Like I'm fine having tattoos and having visible tattoos on the job or whatever. She's like, okay, great. So she sends me this guy, and he's the guys ended up naming him Tattoo Face because he's got tattoos everywhere, but including his face. And so we're giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, and he seems like he's gonna be okay. And then we were on a commercial job, and he was sort of okay. And we were getting the backstory on them, and I'm just like, holy shit, like I can't have this guy around my other guys because they're gonna clash. So I took him with me on a residential job, and I was talking to the client at the end of the day, and Tattoo Face comes up beside us and starts talking to the client about how he had a swastika tattoo on his
Wow.
somewhere, and I'm just like, oh my God, how do I diffuse the situation between the client and Tattoo Face, who I'm ready to fucking leave on the road and just like have him nowhere near my company. Um, I don't know how I can't remember how I got out of that one, but uh, the culmination of everything was eventually Tattoo Face was too good to pass a broom. Like he wasn't a sweeper. Like we asked him to sweep something and he didn't want to sweep. So I'm like, that's it. This guy's out of here. So,
So can you just send them back to Job Zone?
oh yeah, gone, gone.
Bye-bye.
No questions asked, gone.
Oh,
And when
you
they're subsidizing $14 of your $16 wage and you still can't keep your job, you know you fucking suck.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like if you're not even worth $2 an hour. Actually, and then we had this other guy whose dad died probably four different times over the course of a month.
You don't know how many dads he had, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. He must have, yeah. I was thinking about that today, actually.
The
I was
new
like,
age.
can't believe this guy's dad died four times. In the
So
span of a month. But
I don't think I've ever talked about this guy here before. So he, at one time, our company structure was I had uh, a friend who had his own company that worked with us every day, and he was older guy and he knew how to run a job site. So he sometimes brought his own staff member with him. Like he would have his own. It was him and a guy was his whole company, and then I would subcontract them to work with us. So he hired a guy, much like Chad, and
He
Chad,
was the guy was like me.
no, just like you, the guy had a lot of tattoos,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
I don't know if you have any neck tattoos, Chad. Don't take this
Oh yeah.
person, nor should anyone else. But normally, if someone has a neck tattoo, partial face tattoo, I feel like they have about a 2 week window at the company. In my experience, over 35 years, it's like
You're not wrong.
I have a neck tattoo timeline, and that's not like I have no problem with having a tattoo in your neck, but in my experience, if you have a lot of facial tattoos or neck tattoos, you're probably employable for about 2 weeks. 90% of the time, they can really hold it together, and then things slowly start to disintegrate
Yeah.
around. But on the first day, we were all waiting for this guy to show up because we were going downtown and he was coming with us. And he showed up driving an absolutely destroyed Malibu with US plates on it. So we're like, hey man, what's up with the US plates? And he was like, I don't know, this is my neighbor's car, but I needed a car to get to work. And I was really debating if he had stolen the car. So the whole time he worked that day, he talked about the next week he was buying his own motorcycle to get to and from work. He was going to buy like a CBR 800 or something, and he was going to ride, the motorcycle from his house to the house of the guy that worked with me every day. I guess at the time he was a business partner, and so he's like, "I'm going to get this motorcycle. I'm going to do this." He neglected to mention to any of us that he had never ridden a motorcycle before, did not have a motorcycle license, and had bought this motorcycle with his first paycheck, but it had no license plate or anything. And he thought he could run it like an e-bike. But this is like a Honda CBR 600 or whatever the fuck these things are. So on the first day he had the motorcycle, he rode it to my business partner's house so he could get in the truck and go with him. But something happened and he launched the motorcycle into the ditch and it went rolling across the front of the house. So they picked up all the pieces of the motorcycle and stuffed it in the garage and came to work. And that was like sort of this guy's start at the company, was that these two, the beat up Malibu from the US. And when he the story acts, so originally he had hired this guy's girlfriend, but then before she started, because she got hired in the winter, she got pregnant and decided that she wasn't a good idea to work landscaping while she was pregnant. That was her choice. And so she sent this guy, her boyfriend, to fill her spot. So that's how he got hired.
So there was no interview for him. It was just an interview for her.
But
And
then
then she tagged herself
work
out.
anymore, so she sent this guy.
She tagged somebody in.
Tagged him in and said, "It's landscaping. They take anyone." So, anyways,
Did she have neck tattoos?
I don't know. I never saw her
Oh.
ever. This was so he worked with us about 5 weeks, and this guy worked really hard and he was fairly smart and he did good work. And at the end of and after 5 weeks, I was like, this made me the neck tattoo anomaly. Like this guy could be the anomaly of the neck tattoos. And then we started working at the shall not be named place with the pools. And I was running the excavator and he came running up to me. And he said to me, "Mike." I said, "Yeah." I don't even remember this guy's fucking name either. Like, whatever. Let's just call him Dylan. I don't think that's his name, but whatever. I go, "Yeah, Dylan, what?" And he goes, "I think I might have drank a warm protein shake." I said,
I think I might have.
I said, "What?" And he goes, "I think I might have drank a warm protein shake." And I said, "I was going to break this down for you, bro. you drank something. Well, you're not sure if you drank something. You might have drank something, and if you did drink something, it might have been a warm protein shake. So you're not sure if you actually drank anything, and if you did drink something, you're not sure if it's actually a protein shake. And he said, "Yeah, I gotta go. My stomach's upset." I said, "Get the fuck out of here." And he was gone for 3 days. And I thought, this guy had a 5-week limit before the quick downward decline. So he came back 3 days later, probably on the Monday, or probably the Tuesday, to be honest. And he started working, and he just kept rubbing his eyes. And we were like, "Bro, like, what is going on?" And he said, I gotta go. I can't see anything. And we were like, "So you're gonna go to the doctor." So he was away the next day, and then we called him. My partner called him and said, "What's going on?" And he said, I've got pink eye. And we said, "Okay, like," so he said, "How does a grown 28-year-old man get pink eye? Like, you don't know how to wipe your ass? Like, what's..." So what he said, and this is a word for word thing. He said, "I got pink eye from eating my girlfriend's ass. I can't come to work." And so when my business partner said to me, "Hey, Dylan can't come to work. He's got pink
Was
eye."
she still pregnant?
Oh yeah, she's still pregnant. Yeah,
He was eating his pregnant girlfriend's ass.
and he got pink eye
He got pink eye.
from it. I said, so he said, "This is why you can't come to work." And I said,
Maybe this is why we lost the sponsorship.
"I believe that. I think that's true, because I don't know if you could make that up. Like, if you've got pink eye and you're a 28-year-old guy, and someone says to you, 'How did you get this pink eye?' I Your choices really are, I don't know how to wash my hands, or I was eating my girlfriend's ass." So I think he was actually telling the truth. And I would say that most recently, that guy was not a good employee.
I like how unemployable this guy was, that his girlfriend had to go out, get him a job in her getting a job, and then pass it off to him.
Tag him in.
Tag him in.
Oh, go support our child.
Our unborn child.
And the whole time I knew this guy, I was like, "Wow, man, this guy is someone's dad." Now, the hope would be that when the child was born, he had an epiphany, and I don't know him anymore. I don't know what he does. I hope he's out there still eating ass and having a good time.
And taking care of that baby.
And taking care of that baby.
That's the most important thing.
Not spreading pink eye to the baby. Or hooking the baby up to his unlicensed motorcycle that he doesn't know how to ride. And launching that baby into like I should have known, when you show up in a Malibu from the US on your first day, that's a key to knowing that's not going to be successful.
But what are you going to do? They're already hired. You have to give them a chance at that point, right?
Well, his girlfriend was hired.
Yeah. His girlfriend was hired.
That's my most recent horrible employee story that I think is actually a good. That's one of the best excuses ever, though. We used to say that all the time. Like, I actually used to post it on my social media all the time. I think I drank a warm protein shake. It just boggled for like weeks. If something was going really awry in our lives on the job site, I would just look at the other guys and be like, "I think I drank a warm protein shake," and everyone would be like, "Whoa, yeah!" Like, because I think if you're in a mental state or on so many drugs that you don't know if you drank a protein shake, you don't know if it was warm, you don't know what. I think I drank a warm protein shake. It might have been a cold one, actually. Shit, it was a cold protein shake. Like, that whole statement has so many. Like, of all the things people have ever said to me in my life on construction sites, that could be the winner. I think I might have drank, and you couldn't even say like a warm protein shake. Like what the fuck? Like, did you make it at home and bring it with you? Like, where did this random protein shake come from? Like, was it someone else's protein
Right?
that was sitting on the job site and you grabbed that motherfucker and pounded it back? Like, the whole thing was. Anyways, that's my terrible employee story. He wasn't even actually my employee, and I guess he wasn't my business partner at the time's employee. He was business partner at the time's employee's boyfriend.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know what's even funnier?
Yes, please.
Oh my god, they were. This was all going on during like the Leafs playoffs or something, or it was like the end of the. It was, and when they were working on the job in downtown Toronto, two or three of them had gone to a restaurant up the street, and this guy got interviewed by CTV News about the Leafs and was on CP2. And it was just, I don't remember the details of the interview, but it was just as clapped out as the warm protein shake. It was no 2 liters of pop guy, but it was pretty good. Anyway, that all
Maybe you can
happened.
still find that on YouTube.
I should look for it. That guy, it was because I actually, one of the guys that still works with us on the team was also in the interview. So I should ask him if he has a recording of it. Was like the whole thing. Whole guy was just bizarre. Everything that he touched. But anyways, next question, Mike. Next question. We will not talk about eating ass any more times on the podcast for at least this episode.
My final year at the supplier, we had an employee in the yard where my manager would get really mad at and yell at him from time to time. And every time he yelled at him, he would come up to the office and say, "I'm sick, I gotta go home." So there was one time my manager went down to work with him for a bit, came back up really frustrated and said, "I yelled at him again. Oh my goodness." And so we were like, okay, so how much time until he comes up to the office and has to go home?
That's
Literally like 5 minutes later, he comes up to the office. "Guys, I gotta go home. I'm feeling sick."
Did you run a pool?
Oh, that would have been good. We should have.
There was we had this a retailer in our town, and he ended up getting fired. His name was Darcy. And he was a little slow, but he was skimping off the retailer for money. Like, so if say you got like a yard of gravel, he was the guy who would load you, but if you gave him like $20 or whatever, he'd give you like 3 yards of gravel or something. Like I never did it. I would never steal from the retailer, but like he ended up getting caught for giving like 2 bags of Riverstone instead of one for an extra $5 or something like that. And he got canned, as he should. But
It's only a matter of time till someone who you gave the deal to comes in
yeah.
and says, "Hey, the other guy gives me a deal."
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Like that's a short-term
Short-term
scam.
gain, I guess. Yeah.
All right, we only got 2 more questions here. So this one is from Breezy027. Brock there.
Rock.
I always cut with water. What do the coaches do?
Without water until they make me. I'll cut dry as long as I can get away with it.
I'm gonna roll with Chad on that.
Like until someone says something.
We cut dry until so Drake does have a huge floor fan, and when they're cutting, he turns it on so it disperses the dust quickly and sort of blows it everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was on the site with them, and it actually works really good. Like it sort of, instead of having that like heavy dust laying everywhere all day, it sort of just disperses it a bit more.
That's
So
a neat idea.
it did work good. Yeah. I hate
Nice.
cutting with water. I will.
Yeah, me too. That's slurry. And if you don't get it off fast enough, it hardens and it's a mess to get off the pavers and stuff. Like sometimes like we'd run the cuts to the client's backyard or something if like the neighbors out unloading their groceries, like we'd have a guy hobbling over, bringing the cuts to the cut guy or whatever. But we've
We
had not my company, my buddy's company, where the neighbor would come out and complain. She's like, "You got dust all over my car. It's in the engine. The engine's ruined," and stuff like that. And like, fuck, what a nightmare, client like that. But we've also given out. We tend to give out car washes to the neighbors
we've done
if
that
we're
too.
cutting.
Yeah.
That's pretty common, and I mean, the neighbors absolutely love that. They'll eat that right up.
Yeah, they do.
I had one
Well,
person ask me, "What about my windows to my house?"
Yeah,
After I
that's
gave a car wash thing.
oh, what a fucker.
Yeah,
And what
how much does it cost to wash a house windows?
I don't know. I didn't.
you should give them
I didn't say anything.
I
You
would have
just
handed them a
enjoy
garden
your
hose.
enjoy your car wash, bitch.
Yeah, throw it out.
I
Yeah,
don't deal with window washes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've given out car wash tickets. Drake keeps a couple with him usually when he goes to a new neighborhood. Um, we use
We
the
always blow off the neighbors'
fan.
cars and stuff and
Yeah,
their
we use the
yard and
fan.
all that.
We I'm really excited. QI brought out that augmented reality saw.
Yeah. Hmm.
I feel like that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
That saw that's like for the metaverse or whatever.
it's
That's
good
really
for our
good.
industry.
It's going to cut down on a lot of dust. That
Yeah.
metaverse saw. Do you even know what we're talking about, Chad?
Yep. I'm in that group too, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you go comment on the saw?
uh,
I
what did
did.
I say? I think I said something. I can't remember.
I asked them if we could use it in Roblox or but Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Bring the saw to Minecraft. Like, that's I dry cutting is a dangerous game in 2023.
Yeah. I told you guys I was doing a job across from Environment Canada and they came out and told me to stop. Then we had to bring our dustless saw out.
Then you started a plastic fire outside their shop.
No,
I told you guys about when we killed the fish, right?
killed
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fish.
yeah.
And got sued. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, the asphalt dust.
Have I you guys ever told you the story about the guy in the wheelchair on that job?
Yeah, he got
I think
stuck.
He got stuck in the attic.
I
That was
love that story.
yeah,
That's a good one.
we had
I
to
forgot
drive
all
from
about that.
back from Peterborough to get the guy out of the. No one else can help this guy. Like what the fuck? There's a video out right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Of it's a guy. It's a serious thing, but he's getting stabbed to death at the Starbucks on the patio in Vancouver. And what happened was there was a guy vaping on the patio near his kid, and he went over to the guy and said, "Hey man, don't vape near my kid." So the guy pulled out a huge knife and stabbed him in the stomach and gutted him. But in the video, first of all, there's a guy running with a camera recording it all. The guy stumbles and falls, and there's fucking blood everywhere. It's terrible. But there's a guy in the video in the corner who just keeps drinking his coffee. Like nothing's happening. Like literally taking some sip, like watching it all, taking sips of his coffee. And there's something in video games called an NPC or something.
Right.
What's it? What does that mean, Mike?
Non-playable character or something like
That's
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
non-playable. And all these people in the comment thread are like, "Oh, that guy must be that," because he's sitting there in like a peacat, just drinking a coffee. It's bizarre. Watching a guy die. No one helps the guy. No one goes. And then there's a bunch of people commenting saying that people are so scared of mass murder now that they think if they're the one that, because the guy who stabs him, he stabs him. The guy's bleeding out on the ground. He goes into the Starbucks to order a coffee. Like,
What?
the guy doesn't run
This
away.
happened in Vancouver?
Vancouver, yeah. If you Google on any of the social media stabbing at Starbucks, it comes up.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Because now his family's requested that the video get taken down because the video's all over social media. And because these people are behaving so strangely in the video, it's getting millions of views. And then people are thinking it's funny. Like if you watch this guy, it's like in in a video game when there's crazy shit going on and there's a guy watering his grass. That's what it's like. But this is a real guy sitting there watching a guy get stabbed and just taking big drink. Like, I've got this Starbucks, man. I got to get this down in me. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, it was crazy.
That's wild.
Did you guys watch the Starbucks CEO take on the senators, the U.S. senators?
No.
No.
So
No.
there's some people trying to unionize Starbucks, and then they've done some things to not make that happen. I don't know the fine details, but in the interview process, Bernie Sanders is going at the guy about the things he's done to break the union and stop the union and blah 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 blah. And at the end of it, it's his turn to rebuttal, and so he says, um, respectfully, all the senators that are on this panel, there's like 10 of them, or all 10 senators on the panel. He says, respectfully, across the United States, the average Starbucks barista makes $17.82 an hour. And that's more than the minimum wage in any of the states that you guys represent.
Hmm.
So why are you coming after me? Why don't you go look at your own house,
Yeah.
sort of thing? It was pretty good. And then I guess they have an opt to buy stocks too. Like, you can reinvest some of your money in stocks. And if you're doing that at Starbucks, then you average $27 an hour.
Wow.
Wow.
And then they pay for people's university. They're the only company in the United States of America that pays for people's university. And 68% of their managers across the US are former baristas. And they have the highest retention rate of any fast food coffee sort of company in North America. Anyways, that's what the CEO said. I'm sure someone could debate those things too. But it was just interesting that these guys are ridiculing this guy for paying people more than they say is the minimum wage in their own states.
Wow.
That brings up the point where, like, if you're too good, then people expect more from you. There's a word for that for the people. I can't think of the word.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that was super off topic, but
Yeah.
it is, if you get a chance to watch that video, it is, the people's behavior in that video is disgusting and bizarre. Like,
Hmm.
totally bizarre. Like, and that's happening in Canada, and I'm like, wow, like that's, I mean, happening anywhere in the world, I would be disturbed by it, but the fact that it's happening in our own country is totally disturbing.
Wow.
Anyways, next question, Mike. We've had a
Wow.
real good go here. Like,
Uh,
acid,
final question.
final question.
This is, I'm not going to say who it's from, but it says, how did Landscape Daddy, that's Chad,
Uh-oh. That's me.
score such a babe for a wife?
Oh, geez. Must be the money, the landscape money.
The Landscape Daddy money?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Lucky,
Lucky.
caught her on a bad day,
Yeah. Yeah.
at a moment of weakness in her life.
Yeah. That's it. She must have been on a park bench and turned her life around. Who knows? No, but I'm
I
lucky
feel
to
like
have her. So
I think any landscaper that has a wife who they've maintained a relationship with for more than 2 years is pretty fucking lucky.
yeah, we can be hard people to hold down, I guess.
I think it's hard to be on the opposite side of a landscaping relationship.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
8 or 9 months of the year, 10, like 8 or 9. I know for me when I was younger, not as much now because now I do it, things are just different. But when I was younger, I would be like working at this company and I'd have like 10 guys working for me on a crew, and we'd be doing, all kinds of work, and we'd have super expensive machinery and trucks and all kinds of stuff. And then December 22nd would come and they'd be like, you're useless, go away. And the whole thing was honestly kind of depressing. And
Yeah.
you'd go home and be like, I am a totally useless person now
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's
For the
the
next few
middle.
months.
And
Seasonal
then,
depression.
yeah, I think that and I think that makes you hard to be around because I think there is probably seasonal depression with landscapers, or you're used to getting up and doing stuff and going
Yeah.
really hard, and then all of a sudden you're not.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty legit thing.
To go from full throttle to sitting on the couch for 4 months.
Even when I was 18, it made me feel like it's useless
Yeah.
piece of crap.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, It's like people talk like not that I'm comparing it in any way, but it's like when people talk about when people get out of the army. They're like they were flying a jet worth $10 million 2 days ago, and now they're like applying for a job at like McDonald's or something. Like it just you can
Yeah.
understand how that could have a drastic effect on people mentally. Like,
Right.
and I think landscaping is similar. Like similar in that like you're being trusted with $1 million jobs and crazily expensive pieces of equipment and super technical drawings, and then December 22nd comes and you're like qualified to do jack shit. Like
Yeah.
it's a that part of it's a but I don't know what that has to do with Chad's wife and how he met her.
Well,
Did you meet her in the winter?
yeah, I did. While I was, I own that. Well, I was running natural design still, but it was winter, so we had no work. Actually, I was plowing snow for someone else back then. That was a good gig.
If you met her when you were plowing snow, then balls to her for sticking it
Well,
out.
yeah, they know.
Yeah.
That's a really hard time of year
That's
for, you know, like
yeah.
um for significant others.
Plowing snow in general is it's hard on your significant other.
It is.
Like that's especially like we had our daughter, um, and I had just started the snow side of the business, and to leave her at home with our daughter, like that's a lot of stuff to deal for a new mom to deal with. Like actually, sometimes I would take Maggie in the plow truck, and she would sleep the whole time I was plowing.
I took Paisley plowing with me
Yeah,
because the diesel
like
truck and the thump of
yeah,
the plow
yeah.
and yeah, yeah.
But when I took my wife plowing, she's like, I can't do this. I'm going to be sick. It's like all this back and forth and running into the snowbank. Like the kid loves it, so kids are
That's
better at.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny that because I took Paisley plowing too
yeah,
out of necessity when I was like I just it was when I first split up with P's mom and it was my she was started working nights when we
yeah,
split up and Paisley was my responsibility and I also had to plow snow because I needed
yeah.
to
Yeah. Keep the
pay the
lights on.
bills, keep the
Yeah,
lights on. So Paisley came with me and plowed snow. She's been dragged to so many landscaping things. She wouldn't it doesn't phase her at all.
yeah. Do you are you planning on getting the kids into the business? Like, is there any
Maybe
plan there or
if one of them was interested in it, I would be
yeah,
happy to. Paisley is a lot more exposed to it
yeah,
because she's just with like I drive her to soccer every day, so
yeah,
she's with me a lot. And my phone tends to ring a lot between the hours of like 5:30 and 7:30. So she's
yeah,
with me a lot. So
yeah,
she's a lot more like she knows a lot of the sort of ins and outs of the business that way. I don't spend that same amount of time with Nate because Kelly takes him to all his stuff. Um, but if one of them was interested in it, I'd be happy to.
yeah.
I think it's a good business. I think it's a good business. I think it's. I don't think there's anything wrong with how we may all make a living.
No,
I
I
think
think
it's a
it's
good way to make a living. I don't think it's getting replaced by robots anytime soon.
maybe
I
those
don't.
3D
Those 3D
printers.
printing.
Yeah, 3D printing. I don't see Chat GTP affecting my life too much.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
there's a
it'll
lot
get
of.
easier. I think like those exoskeletons, have you seen those?
I saw that once. Yeah, I don't remember where. Might have been when I was a sales rep.
It
I watched
like
it.
straps onto your body and you're doing like the work, but it's the exoskeleton taking the pressure off.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think I saw it because the manufacturer I worked for was obviously a heavy manufacturer of uh, vertical masonry,
Mm.
and so they had been experimenting with that stuff.
Imagine the jokes coming out of that. Go put on your strap on,
Yeah.
and you get the guy in his robot suit come off, and oh, he's got his strap on again.
It might extend
Yeah,
a lot of people's careers, and like
yeah, yeah.
I have a friend I talk to sometimes that used to have a masonry company, and like I've never done that for a living. Like I've done natural stone masonry, like chip face, and I mean, there's obviously a what you hope to accomplish in a day, but it's not the same as like laying bricks on row housing for like
Yeah.
a builder. those guys, like they have like, you got to lay 300 bricks. I don't know what it is. I don't remember, but say it's like 300 bricks a day. But he was like, as the guys get older, they just can't make the quotas. Like, the
Yeah.
guy's 62 years old and he's trying to lay 300 block a day or 200. Like it's just harder. So
But
maybe
that's the
something.
same for us too, right? Like we didn't anticipate the younger guys doing that, and we'd be pointing our finger more
Yeah,
ideally as we grow up, just because it's tough to do whenever you're in your 60s.
our staff is older, most of them,
Yeah.
because they're people that have been with me for like some of them now, like 12, 13 years. We've all worked together
Yeah.
in different ways. And so we're like, most of the stuff I've like a lot of the RFQ stuff I priced this year is trees and grading and planting and mulching and prep for sod, and not
Yeah.
as much of it is
Yeah, us too.
10,000 square feet of pavers,
Brick, yeah. Yeah.
because that stuff is super hard on your body, and trying to recognize the staff that we have and where
Yeah.
they are, and they're, trying to, I've been thinking seriously about trying to move to get like a single axle, can take a 10-yard bin and a 5-yard bin, and trying to develop a business there, because you only need to have a valid G license to drive those
Yeah.
trucks, right?
Yeah.
So if you have I think there's a business out there for, Mike proves it, for 5 to 10 yard bins. There's a business for that. It's
For
legitimate.
sure.
You said you
Yeah.
order lots, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so I think that's like an option for if some of our people are older, then even with a G license, you can still be a truck driver. Like we do a lot of like sort of on demand smaller deliveries now for people too. There's a few contractors that will call us for, because they are having, these are people that probably in the past would have sent their own truck or their own dump trailer, but they'll call me and be like, "Hey, can you guys get me 2 yards of topsoil as fast as you can?" Because they just
Yeah.
don't want to leave the site anymore.
Yeah.
And I think this year in Durham region, for delivery of, I guess up to probably 10 or 12 yards, we charge $120 plus whatever the material is. So for
Yeah.
a lot of people, that's a pretty effective route to getting, especially there's a lot of people that are our clients work alone. There's only one, they work by
Hmm.
themselves or they work with two guys. And so if you need that material, the $120 in the grand scheme of things, they're saving a lot of money. And we can usually, if it's in Durham somewhere, get to people within a couple hours, because one of us will be going past somewhere or doing something. We have, on any given day, we could have up to 6 trucks on the road driving around.
Yeah.
To have like a small truck, like with a 10-yard bin on it, I think, more and more we'll be able to keep it busy. I have a flat deck. I haven't moved all the soil yet to get it, but we will. And once the flat deck comes, we had a lot of people calling us last year because they're like short a half a skid. They put in the order and then we go pick it up and bring it to them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they can keep laying and cutting, and
Right.
they can get their day finished and they don't have to stop to go get it to put it, like, or maybe they don't have their trailer with them that day, or the trailer's at the other crew, or like I think it just makes it a
Yeah.
bit more. So I think that that's something we're going to look at too. But I am seriously looking into like the staff, their ages.
Yeah.
How can we move towards stuff that's more friendly for them?
Away from brickwork, which is brick is such a hard way to make a living or make
I
your money at least.
like if it was like jobs where it's a lot of 4x8s, I think it's fine. If someone used to carry 10 4x8s in the stack back and forth, and now they carry 7, I don't give a shit. Just carry what you can carry all day long. Just be steady. Don't be fucking around. Like you can still do
Yeah.
what, like, but when you start doing some of this, there's a side of paver that's awkward because you're not necessarily putting it in like those big slabs everyone does with the vacuum lifters on the excavators and stuff. That's fucking great. But then there's like, we have a driveway that's uh blue 80 smooth.
Yeah. It's an awkward size.
It's a size where like one of them is handleable easily. Like the
Yeah.
13.5 by 6, that's an easy handle.
Yeah.
You know? But then the 13.5 by 13.5, you're starting to say, so I want to bend over all day and lay that. And then the one that's like, what is it, like 26 or whatever it is by 13.5, that's a heavy, like
Yeah.
an 80 mil one, that's a heavy fucking piece of stone.
Yeah.
So, that's the awkward size that I think wears people out and kills them, is that sort of mid-range size where, so like on that job, I priced renting a Unilift. We'll make
Yeah.
some videos about it. People can rip me apart, say I'm a lazy fuck. It's gonna be awesome. We haven't had a need for one since the last time I got torn apart for it. Hopefully um, Caleb posts a video about overlaying some concrete or some shit to distract from using a Unilift. Mike, it is your episode for Caleb's Corner. So drop your value. This Caleb's Corner is not in any way authorized or associated with the Kid Contractor podcast. Mike, you're up. Caleb's Corner. Drop your knowledge.
Wow. I don't even know what to talk about. I guess this was touched on in Chris's episode, the Facebook ads thing. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing ads these days. So I guess my advice to people doing that is to just spend like 15 minutes, half an hour, Google or YouTube some videos on how to set up an ad properly. It's not much that you need to know to actually do something valuable with it, but don't boost posts. Go into the ads manager and go through all the demographics. But if you want to really get the useful value of Facebook ads, you'll set up different tags in your website where if people click places, Facebook will monitor that, and then you can advertise to those people that are clicking on certain places in your website. So you can start with a Facebook ad that does traffic. So this is like broad, just get the right demographics and just send people to your website. And then based on those tags that are on your website, you can then choose to send various ads directly to those people. So if somebody clicks on the portfolio page on your website, you can have a certain ad directed at those people that triggered that tag, and various tags. Like even if they go to the contact page, they end up not filling it out. You can have a specific ad go out to those people. So just use that to your advantage as much as possible. It'll also uh, decrease your ad spend as well.
So, like, I'm running a Facebook ad right now, which listening to you talk about it there is a total failure.
But we talked about that, and
I did not watch a YouTube video, and I think that was super smart fucking advice. I should have totally done that. So I clicked send me a message because it lets you choose. Send people to your website, get more views on your page. There's 5 choices, I think. And I picked send me a message, and my ad's been totally ineffective. You think that it's better now, in hearing you talk, I just thought people would see the ad and go, I'm going to send this person a message. But I think that it's way less intrusive. You're right to say, I'm going to check out this guy's website. I think that's a way better choice.
Because when you're sending an ad out for the first time, it's to a cold audience that have most likely never heard of your business, you yourself, right? So you want to, what I do personally is for that initial hit on people, it's a video of myself. And I'll be at one of my projects and I'll just be like, look at what we did here. This is what we can do for you. And then that is what I hope to get people clicking on my website for, because it's a bigger ask to a cold audience to do like you said, send a message, or even worse, do a lead form, because on Facebook you can have them fill out a lead form. But you want to do those things to a warmer audience that have seen your face before, that have seen your business name. So it's just a matter of, like a funnel, getting people at the top of the funnel who are the coldest and working them down towards where they're the warmest.
This is great value, Mike. This might be the most valuable thing that we've ever talked about.
It's applicable to today's
Yeah,
environment, I think.
God, I'm gonna. If you start an ad campaign, can you stop it and relaunch it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow, this will be what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I will post a video of myself smoking a cigar, listening to Warrant Cherry Pie, and hope that that drives people to our website. I don't think it will, but maybe. I
So,
did a pizza review this week. Also
I saw that.
got no leads from it.
Mike, I told Darian, is it?
Yes,
Um, when he comes down with my new shovel, we're gonna send you back with the Cornwall pizza for
so
review.
I will. Yeah, I will. That is sick.
It may be cold. We have
That's
to put
fine.
it in your
Love a good
shop
love.
microwave.
Yeah,
But
I love. That's okay. I love a good cold pizza. I like cold pizza. I
Cornwall
will.
pizza is good cold, actually. Like it's a good breakfast pizza for the day after if you're hungover or something like that.
But it's
Job
gonna have meat on it,
job.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
not for PK.
Well, you
Oh
can't get
well, you want a cheese
can't,
one? We'll get
you
you a
can't
cheese
get it. Yeah,
pizza.
you can't get a cheese pizza.
Of course you can.
But I thought
I
the
don't,
thing about Cornwall pizza was that they put the toppings underneath the cheese.
They do, but they can
but you
put
got
cheese underneath cheese if he's only a
you
cheese
gotta
pizza guy.
yeah you gotta review the cheese.
Yeah.
If you review anything that isn't a cheese pizza, it's not a true. You see how quickly this became totally invaluable.
Back to your regular scheduled program.
There was some really good information there for a brief period of time, and it quickly disintegrated into doing pizza reviews from Cornwall Pizza. The real review of a pizza from I think that when I move the pizza reviews forward, I just as an epiphany to me that perhaps I should get the pizza one day, put it in a Ziploc bag in a lunchbox, and then eat it the next day. Because that's a more realistic review of a hardscape pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you guys reheat pizza the day after?
I don't really. I'll eat it
You eat
cold.
it cold.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty lazy.
Savage.
I would put it in a microwave if I wanted a bit of heat. I
Yeah.
like the crust, it goes mushy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you
I
reheat it in the pan with the water?
I've never done the water. That's interesting.
I heard if you put like a quarter of a cup of water in a pan and reheat pizza, it comes out just like from the store.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true. If
Do you have
someone
to put
does
the
it,
lid on it probably?
I've never done. I just read it. It was some. I think it was some TikTok thing. The
Yeah.
Chinese government really wanted me reheating my pizza with water. Maybe it's gonna poison me.
Uh,
You want to know what's an interesting conversation that I had today? Uh, so obviously, like the fact that we're searching for leads and stuff is a topic of conversation. So I was talking about starting a Paver King page that is full of actual because we've done a lot of beautiful work, like lost in the absolute mess of my Instagram page is the fact that sometimes I do post pictures of beautiful work we've done. Like I think that we do really amazing work, top-notch work. And so I was talking to Drake about setting up like a Paver King residential page that's focused on, and that's where we could drive clients because most of the people that follow my, there are some clients that follow it, but I would say the majority of people that follow my Instagram page are either my daughter's teachers or, um, or other contractors, which are not hiring me. Well, the bins are valuable. Like we get a lot of bin and triaxle work, but not residential leads. So we were talking about uh, setting up a new account, and today, and I was actually way more uncomfortable than this, what I thought I would be, but I bumped into Drake at the yard because he was, of course, certifying tons of trailers because that's super fucking fun every spring. Um, and he said, I was thinking about the account and would it not be better to change the name of your main account, like the account I have right now, and start a new account that's at Paver King, because that's what's on the side of all the trucks. And if people look it up, that's what they're going to see because it says at Paver King on the side of our trucks. And I was like, oh, that is kind of a good idea. But then I was like, man, I've used this other account for like, there's 4,000 posts I've used, and it was actually like like a, it sounds terrible, but it was like a semi-emotional thing. I was like, well, I can't fucking do that. Like, that's my account. Like, that's who I am. It's like, there's a whole, like, there's, 4,000 posts of my whole fucking life of all the different things I've done and been. And it seemed weird, but it's probably smarter to do that, because if people look it up, if we're trying to create an account that's more serious, and it's sort of like when we started this podcast, you guys are using accounts that are created accounts. Well, Mike, not so much, but you have I Am a Hardscaper, and Chad actually created an account to keep people from seeing anything to do with this podcast that could potentially be his clients. And
In all honesty,
I need to create an account that's actually pictures of my business. So, anyways,
why don't you run another company beside it called Paver Queen for the residential side of things and have them play off each other?
Well,
That's
we
what
were
I would
debating
do.
too. Should we have because right now the account's pretty mixed. Should we have an account that's Paver King Excavating or Trucking and Excavating? Because that's clearly a side of our business that's different from the residential
Yeah.
business. And should we have one that's Paver King Residential? And then should we just have this one that's Paver King that's whatever lunacy comes to my brain that day? Someone actually requested sandwich and burger reviews, so I might move that forward.
Ooh. Yeah.
That might be a new thing. I don't know why anyone values my opinion on pizza, except that I just keep putting them out there. I don't know
If you say something long enough,
people
it becomes
value.
true,
So,
right?
anyways, I thought that was do you ever feel like your NDL account is suffering because you're posting on your Landscape Daddy account?
I honestly am hardly ever on my NDL account. So, and I don't even care. Like it's Landscape Daddy's more fun. It's more authentic. But like I'll still post showcase work on natural design and what we're up to and stuff like that. And
But no glue videos.
no glue videos on that one. So no, it's just a different side of me or the business or whatever. And it's nice to
Separate those.
yeah, nice to separate them. Not have to be completely professional all the time. I didn't start this business so that I could be completely professional 24 hours a day. Like I'm still a human outside of landscaping,
Do
a
you,
crude human.
Mike, you have three, right?
Yeah, I do.
So how do you break down those three?
So How to Hardscape is completely contractor focused in terms of just creating a space to promote other contractors. And I Am a Hardscaper started actually at the same time of How to Hardscape, but that is completely just myself. And actually, I started it as a way to allow other contractors to take over the page. So there's actually like a couple of contractors that took me up on that and took over the I'm a Hardscaper page for a day. And I thought that was really cool, but we just didn't get enough traffic with that. So I just kept it as just myself. And then the Ever After account is my business, but I just don't do enough. Like everything that I post is on I am a Hardscaper anyways. So I just don't do anything with Ever After. It used to allow you to, whatever you posted on I Am a Hardscaper, to cross post it directly onto Ever After as soon as you post it. It doesn't allow me to do that anymore.
Have you ever posted something on the wrong account?
Never. No.
I have.
I do. I comment with the wrong account all the time.
I probably commented with the wrong account, but
yeah,
ultimately it's just me anyway. So
I like on my actual personal Facebook, it also controls the Paver King Facebook. Like you can do that whole back and forth thing. And
Yeah.
I try to stay in my personal Facebook because if I just open it, but today I was posting just because Mike had responded to I was like, I want to see if anyone, because my Facebook page is full of people, a lot of them are my age. So I posted 4 fried chickens and a Coke just on my personal Facebook page to see what would happen. But I had almost hit send on which I could have deleted it, but on like the Paver King page, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm trying to keep this Facebook page like for actual people that might like want to do business. I'm fucking like fucking 4 fried chickens and a Coke. Like it's like it was but yeah, it was interesting to think about the Paver King page not being and it being like Mike at Paver King as my as the page that changing my main that the page with the followers to Mike at Paver King and then
Yeah.
making at Paver King a page about the business and the company and um
So actually, I was talking to the guy that I bought that shovel from today, just briefly in exchange of text messages. I said, "Oh, I might have my buddy go down and pick the shovel up from you guys and float it to me." He goes, "Who's your buddy?" I said, "Mike Pennington." And he goes, "What company does he run?" Because he didn't make the association of your name to Paver King, right? Like he didn't know that. And then I said, "Paver King." He's like, "Oh yeah, I know him." So they know the business, but not necessarily the name.
there's a lot well there's a vast amount of people that have no idea what my name is.
Mulder didn't know your name.
Yeah, anymore.
Andy didn't know your
Yeah,
name.
like and because a lot of people either refer to me as PK or Paver King.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Hey
Yeah.
PK, what's up?" And like one of our biggest clients, everyone who works there, all of them refer to me as PK. Like no one uses my name ever. So if you started there, you would have no idea what my name is. It's a interesting
I feel like
phenomenon.
you should have the neck tattoo with the crown on it that says PK. If we get it, yeah,
PK.
no, both sides, PK with the crown on top,
Oh
as
yeah.
on the trucker side, so that you see it whenever you're driving down the
Oh,
highway there.
Ooh.
ooh.
Yeah, if we go fund me that, would you
If you go
consider it
fund a neck tattoo,
You know how we can fund that?
a
So there are
sponsorship?
other yeah, sponsorship. There are other various Paver King accounts online.
there are some other ones. Yeah.
So we should start a charity boxing match between all the Paver Kings.
Mhm.
And with that money, we can fund Paver King's neck
Dude, that
tattoo.
guy in California, I don't think I want to fuck with that dude.
Is he tough looking? Like,
Well, he's called the Pavers King. Like
so he's the king of the pavers, or
his account
pavers
his account is
king?
called the Pavers King, and if you saw the logo, it's like really close. Like
It's very
it's
close.
really close. You know what's interesting is that on TikTok, he has way more followers than I do.
Oh yeah.
So I look like the fake king.
On TikTok.
People
For
are
the
like,
generation coming up.
the generation coming up, they're like, that fucking old guy trying to grab the Pavers King glory. Like
The pavers king.
the Pavers King glory is getting, yeah. I don't know, man. Have you seen that guy? He looks like a big dude.
No, I haven't seen him.
I messaged him a couple times a long time ago just to say, hey man, what's up? And he's like, not much, how's it going? No acknowledgement of the fact that he blatantly copied my name and logo. Like, well, I guess he has a different story. Maybe he says I copied him. I don't know. But there's also a Paver King in Florida, but that nothing happens with that account.
Is
And
that just Paver King?
I think
yeah,
I've tagged that guy by accident
that's the one
in a
that's done
couple
that.
things.
In a not our finest hour post.
That's the
Going
one.
live with Paver King.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
That's the guy that doesn't have an underscore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. And he's messaging me, "Hey, what's up? Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, that's not Mike."
Hey, recently, one of the people I talked to, well, he's a local guy. Um, he hired a professional social media service, and So I DM. I have his phone. He's a client too, um, Matt Beam, and we DM sometimes on Instagram. Sometimes we text. Like, so I was like DMing the account, and then it occurred to me that maybe Matt's not even on this fucking account anymore. Because
So he pays someone to run his account?
yeah, well,
Like
I don't know how I don't know how it works exactly, but if you look at his account, it went from being a mishmash of shit like my account, his farm. I don't know if you follow him, but he posts
oh
a
yeah,
lot.
the eggs.
He sells eggs. He's got a lot of shit going on. And if you look at Matt's account recently, it's really well done. Like it's the posts are professional, the stories are professional. It's really landscape focused. And but then I was DMing with the account the other day, and I'm like, am I even fucking talking to Matt? Fuck, like but it's really well done, and like so. And then I started thinking, should I like hire someone to run the paper account? Social media person would probably say everything I'm doing is absolutely wrong, and I should stop doing it immediately. Um, so I did start doing more stories recently to see if that would up
Yeah.
get me from being unshadow banned. Because and the stories actually have had a big uptick in um
Viewers?
viewers. Yeah, they have legitimately.
Really?
Because I think for the last 2 years I haven't actually done a lot of stuff where I was on stories. It was usually me resharing hose shots and resharing other shit that other people posted. But like this week, I was like, I'm gonna make a push to actually consciously get on there as much as for better or worse, uh, consciously get on there. And I think that's actually up. It's definitely. I finally crested 19,900.
Wow.
So I think,
Holy.
yeah, those stories brought up the. So I'm gonna keep trying that, but
You need one good viral video to skyrocket you up there.
I'm gonna repost. Now I have your video, so I'm gonna repost it and be like, "Fuck you! This is enough glue." And this, that's what's gonna
I don't know, like I don't know what it is that makes them pop off, but
no
there's a
one does
secret sauce
good.
somewhere.
But that video wasn't even new; it was old.
No, that was an old video, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's pretty rare. I've never, and most of the people I had a video get 1 million views, but it was like consistent from the moment I posted it. It just took off, and then it got 1 million views on TikTok, and it got over 100,000 on Instagram. I posted it the same day.
Hmm. Holy shit.
It's not. I don't know. Like it must be something to do with
Yeah.
the
I feel
action.
like it's the sound, but what do I know? The last person that should be giving advice on social
I
media
don't know. You have a video with 10 million views.
Yeah. We're
by
all ears,
accident.
Chad.
Like, it's a complete fluke. I mean, I think I'm going to take more videos of weird shit like that
Yeah.
and see how that goes. But
Take more videos. Well, Mike made the point that he intentionally would act like there was a mistake in the video. Remember you were talking about that before?
Yeah. Like as long as it's something controversial that it gets people to like comment. And obviously Chad's was controversial enough with the glue that people commented.
yeah,
That's what typically gets the traction. I've tried it a couple of times. It hasn't worked for me, but I'm sure like eventually you hit something, right?
A queef
I
of
got
blue.
one. On your next job site, instead of gluing the caps, take out a jar of peanut butter and just smother it all over the bottom of the
Right.
caps there. And I can try something like that and see how well we do.
With
Not
a
in front of
feather.
the client.
No.
They got dogs coming up and licking the underside of the cap. We got an animal problem.
If we have downgraded to the point where we're talking about dogs licking peanut butter off pool coping, I feel like this is the end of the episode. The episode is done. We thank you for listening to the ass eating, dog licking, whatever else happened in this episode. But that's the end of the episode, people. Goodbye.
I did want to say entitlement was that word that I was thinking about with the Starbucks union thing.
Yes.
Entitlement. That's the word.
Entitlement. Now the episode's over.